as you can see, I think I have Evanston down. I didn't even put numbers. And I don't even think I hate this. But it's here. This one. It is always like I never thought it would make that big of a difference, but it does definitely help. Like when the first time I did it was with Cheyenne South with the basketball team. I just said, hey, if I say your name, could you put it helps a little bit. I'm like, okay. Starting to help. It helped with lining up. But I already knew 4 of them. So I had a head start. I haven't been able to do any of the one-on-one interviews with them yet.
Mountain View Volleyball is live only on mylocalradio.com. Buffs Volleyball is in session for another action-packed fall season. Carrying you straight through the year and into the state tournament in November, mylocalradio.com is here to bring you live video coverage of Mountain View sports. With the opening serve quickly approaching, let's join Jake Hibbard, voice of the Buffaloes, in the MyLocal Radio broadcast booth for pregame coverage.
It's counting 19 plates all the way around as we welcome you into day 2 of the COKEVILLE Invitational. A battle for Uinta County is the scene for the second time in the past 14 hours. Yesterday, Mountain View went to 5 sets in all 3 matches, including the nightcap against the Red Devils, with Mountain View prevailing 15-12 in the final set. Will the same hold true today, or will Evanston come back and spoil the Buffaloes' run? Jake Hibbard joining you for Saturday Gold Bracket action live from COKEVILLE, Wyoming. Pre-game coverage when we return on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Members of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union feel confident that our staff has your best interest in mind, confident that we acknowledge your financial needs, Confident that we are always working hard to provide the best rates, best products, and the best service the industry can offer. And confident that we will always work with you to help achieve your financial goals. Join Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today. TronaValley.com, member NCUA.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Welcome back to the Cokeville Invitational Gold Bracket action, and let's start right there as we lay out the scene for today's contest and the day to come in the Cokeville Invitational Day 2 of the tournament. 8 teams out of the 12 invited made it to the gold bracket. The remaining 4 are in a round-robin silver bracket sort of deal where you play 2 contests. The rest of the teams, these 8 teams, including Mountain View and Evanston, getting set to do battle here in the next 20 minutes or so, they are in contention for that championship match, but you have to win them all to get there. In Evanston and Mountain View's immediate side of the bracket, on the other side is Star Valley and Campbell County. Those are the opponents for one of these teams on the winner's side and the other team on the loser's side. That match is going to be played on the other side of the court, the right side of the court here at this varsity gymnasium, which has been split into 2 volleyball courts. On the other side of the bracket, Cokeville and Bear Lake did battle, as did Alta and Preston. The winner of those matches play at 3:30 scheduled, with the winner of that match in the semifinals going on to the championship game. So this essentially a quarterfinal matchup today for the Cokeville Invitational. The teams in the silver bracket, let's take a look at them. Grace, Idaho, Green River, Wyoming, Rich, Utah, and Lyman, Wyoming. Lyman, the team that I was following yesterday, went 1-2 with their lone victory coming against Campbell County, a team that is on Mountain View's side of the gold bracket. They'll be up against it, though, in the team I would list as the favorite, well, if not Cokeville themselves, then Star Valley the way they looked. But this Mountain View team came very close to going undefeated yesterday, although it was not done easily. All 3 matches were in 5 sets. That started off with a 5-set win against Preston. Their middle match, a close loss in 5 sets to Rich County, and then they played Evanston, winning the first set 25-10, and the second set, well, I don't have that, the sets, who won which one, but the set count did come down to a 5th one, now that I look at it. 15-12 the final in a game where the scoreboard was not working in the auxiliary gym. That caused those games to get farther behind. We did not have the final match of that auxiliary gym pool happen until almost 10 p.m. at night. We were a little bit quicker getting out of here on the varsity side of things, the varsity gym side of things, while I was covering Lyman. The 9 o'clock scheduled game was done before the 6:30 contest, which was Evanston-Lyman on the schedule, had finished. The 8 teams again in the gold bracket. Cokeville, Bear Lake, Alta, and Preston have already played. Star Valley, Campbell County, Evanston, and Mountain View set to go next. Mountain View's JV won the first set 20-5 and is up 12-9 in the second set over Evanston's. We'll come back with Brent Walk, head coach of the Mountain View football program, who was in a 0-week matchup with Green River yesterday, I should say, in a scrimmage contest, no score kept. So we will talk with him after week 2 of practice is getting over with, and we move into week 1 of the season, where we will be next week when Cokeville and Mountain View do their annual week 1 battle. We'll hear from Coach Walk in a bit as we shift away from volleyball before getting back into it with head coach of the Mountain View Buffaloes, Diana Timms, and Evanston Lady Red Devils, Tara Lawler, to close out the pregame show. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Mountain View and Evanston set to do gold bracket battle after about 14 hours ago doing the same in the auxiliary gym on that court, where Mountain View came away with a narrow 15-12 victory in the contest. We will take a break and come back with head coach of the Mountain View Buffs, Brent Walk, when we return. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
I'm back with Mountain View head football coach Brent Walk as we are set for the 0-week game. By the time this airs, you'll have already played Green River in that scrimmage, but I want to know your thoughts going into this contest and kind of what you're trying to accomplish in this preseason matchup.
Right. Well, it's kind of a unique thing right now, Jake, because we're a veteran team. This is probably the most veteran, and I've had some veteran teams, but this could be the most experienced team I have right now. But, always going into 0-week, we're evaluating players, we're developing our depth chart, our 1s, 2s, 3s, and all the way down to our 4s and 5s, So, it's a learning process for us, but, we kind of hang our hat, when we go play anytime we step on the field, even if it's during our practices, we're making sure we're competing and trying to get better. So, I'm not going to say, there's no score kept or anything, but, our guys are expecting to perform and do a very, very good job.
Well, you mentioned there's a lot to be accomplished even with the veteran squad, and that includes some of these younger kids, and maybe their only opportunity in a contest to try to prove something, maybe to get some time in special teams or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, on our special teams, we're already, we're not doing special teams, but we've already started implementing our special teams. We started working on that on Monday of this week. So, as far as, guys are, we're talking to our guys, don't ask permission to be great. That's entirely up to them. That's not up to anybody except for themselves. So our guys are getting after it. And like I said, we're going to play. We're playing Mountain View football, and that's all we're going to worry about all year long.
Sometimes it's just who's open one week, but I'm always curious how 0-week matches get matched up. So what is the story with Mountain View and Green River playing in this week?
Yeah, that's we started doing this, I can't even remember how many years ago now, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it's absolutely, it's perfect. Coach Rage took over the program. I think this will be his second year, and we set up, Marty and I are good friends, also off the field, and so we talk, and our goal is to make Mountain View better, and his goal is to make Green River better, and it's just been, it's a great thing for our guys to go over there, play under the lights, which we don't play under the lights here in Mountain View, but it's just fun. It's a great opportunity for our kids to get ready for that week 1 contest.
Now, I'm not going to ask you about any sort of position battles or anything because it's not about that right now. It's about having that team come together as a unit. And how do you feel they are, even being a vet squad, how do you feel they are coming together in week 2 of yet another season?
Yeah, knock on wood, we're going into tonight, we're going into our 12th practices, and the practice has been amazing. And we have probably got 98% of our offensive package already implemented. Defense is the same way, and like I said, we're putting our special teams in. So we absolutely love where we're at right now. Our guys are, they're itching, they're ready to go, and we're clicking. Our practices have been just outstanding, and so we're ready to go.
That's Mountain View head football coach Brent Walk, 0-week, and then we're on to the season and off to the races. We'll be back with you next week. Thank you.
Right on. I appreciate everything. Thank you.
Appreciation to Brent Walk in that on-scored Mountain View Green River scrimmage yesterday, getting set where next week we will be at Buffs Field for a 4 o'clock kickoff. for Mountain View versus Cokeville, 1A versus 2A, and 2 top-level teams for both those sides. That game is always action-packed and one that comes down to the wire. For Mountain View, they're hoping they can break a 2-year losing streak, as they have been unable to get over Cokeville the last couple of years, and actually both of their state championship seasons in the last 10 years, 2017 and 2014, they did lose to Cokeville. The 2014 one, it was a blowout almost, a 30-12 final score. So week one, non-conference, but if you are going to get challenged in a game that ultimately is not going to affect your record, what better team for Mountain View to play than Cokeville? But of course, they're looking for a victory. A veteran squad, as mentioned by head coach Brent Walk, including 5 all-state returners from a year ago in the 2A lineman of the year. Got multiple quarterbacks, multiple receivers, running backs, all those different looks. I talked about that with Patrick Schmidt of Wyoming Football on the Wyoming Prep podcast on Wednesday that you can go check out on mylocalradio.com. And he says that is what makes Patrick does, what makes Mountain View so dangerous as a football team this year, is go ahead and try to game plan for them, because it's going to be tough. If you plan for one quarterback, they can use another. They can put that quarterback at running back, a receiver. They can split them out into the slot. We are looking at a dynamic football team that we hope all the best for this coming season. Again, next Friday, 4 o'clock, 6 days from now, we're kicking off the 2A football season right in Mountain View at Buffs Field. Mountain View versus Cokeville, 4 o'clock on mylocalradio.com, and also on the airwaves. KNYN 99.1 will have the coverage of that game as well with the simulcast. I'll be on the call for both of those games. The clock has not quite yet started for the varsity match, but we will continue our pregame coverage next by hearing from Tara Lawler, head coach of the Evanston Lady Red Devils. These teams played each other about 14 hours ago, and it was Mountain View coming out on the victorious side. Both of these teams getting used to some early season bumps and bruises, and we'll hear about that next, and also the recent trend of scrunchies returning to the fashion world. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
Now let's move on with pregame coverage with head coach of the Evanston Lady Red Devils. I have Tara Lawler, head coach of the Evanston volleyball program, with me. You're taking on the team that you played most recently last night in a 5-set loss. A long day of volleyball in that auxiliary gym. How are your players doing after that, late night?
That's a good question, Jake. We had obviously the week of 2-a-days, and we saw early on we had some pre-existing conditions from the summer of some injuries that kind of carried over and lingered. And I was a little concerned to see how our girls would react to such a long day of volleyball. But they did a pretty good job. I definitely saw the wear and tear, though, last night, actually midway through the Preston match, and then, of course, during Mountain View. So it'll be interesting to see what team comes back out today. I know we asked for, I think, 13 ice bags when we left the Cokeville gym yesterday, late last night, and so we'll see how they're going to respond and rebound. Mountain View is a good team, and they have some solid fundamentals, and they definitely took advantages of the things we weren't doing. So hopefully that our girls feel healthy enough to play and give it a fight.
I saw this news a couple of days before coming here, and now after being one day at the Cokeville Invite, I can say it's true. Scrunchies are back. They're everywhere on this volleyball court. How do you feel about that trend returning?
Honestly, I haven't even noticed.
You haven't noticed all the players on your team wearing them?
No, I've noticed our serve receive and our lack of serve receive, but not our hair attire. But, oh, yeah, scrunchies are back. You just, yeah, who knew?
Okay, I was trying to get off this topic of volleyball. I thought you would have noticed that, but I guess you've been all volleyball this time.
Yeah, we've been really focused 2-a-days. But like I said, with only having a week of preparation, I think we tried to be very diligent in packing in as many touches and reps as possible, but that obviously there's a double-edged sword. You get too many touches and reps and you don't give your body a chance to rest and recover, and too much rest and recovery doesn't give you the touches and reps that you need. And so we're just trying to find that fine balance. I keep telling the girls we have 5 more days like we did yesterday with the 2 days at Border Wars and the 2 days in Star Valley before our first conference game on September 17th against Rock Springs. And so as long as we're continually getting better, but hopefully at the same time getting healthier and stronger. We also had CSB at school, the first week of school. And our girls lifted over the summer, but probably not to the extent that they needed to. And so they're sore. And so hopefully with all of this we'll get through this weekend and we'll get through the soreness, and hopefully we come back bigger and stronger next weekend at Border Wars then.
Yeah, you have this tournament, which can get you upwards of 6, 7, 8 games. I don't know exactly how many you can play, but a lot. And then are you playing 7 or 8 games the next week at Border Wars? You probably do have to be wary of not overusing players.
Absolutely. This tournament is fantastic because obviously it's a true 3 out of 5 format. Border Wars, I think it's 2 out of 3. And so it's less, but I think you play 4 or 5 times, or for a total of 8 teams, I guess, 7 teams. So it is a lot of touches and reps, and Star Valley tournament has some years been a 1-day tourney, and now this year it will be a 2-day tourney. And so, yeah, we're just going to try to take it slow and steady and make sure we keep our girls healthy, and we don't want to overuse. I keep telling them there's a fine line between, it's aching or it's sore compared to an injury, and that they need to communicate now exactly how they feel so we can protect them and save them, and we can work them back into the lineup as they feel strong again.
Coach Tara Lawler, thank you.
Thank you, Jake.
We are about 10 minutes away from the start of this contest here at the Gold Bracket Saturday Cokeville Invitational. Got a couple of matches going on in different gymnasiums. The silver bracket match is Lyman versus Rich County, and I was with Lyman yesterday. Today I'm with Mountain View. So if you would like to watch that game, though, just as you could watch all 3 Mountain View games yesterday, you can watch this morning match of Lyman on the Rich affiliate broadcast on mylocalradio.com. Ryan Steinekert doing the action for that. This Cokeville invite with all of our affiliates here, Preston, Evanston, Rich County, and then, of course, me with Mountain View and Lyman. We've been able to cover just about every single Bridger Valley game, and it's been fantastic. So we will take a break, come back with Diana Timms very shortly. But when we return next, I'll go through the starting lineups for both sides, and we got some wide ones. We got some large starting lineups to begin this season, as I've been told. Hey, this person might get in, this person might get in. Both teams running some wide rotations to start the season off. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
We hope you're enjoying this mylocalradio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Bradshaw's Glass Towing and Fitness. Whatever it is you need, Bradshaw's can probably help. The Come On In of Casper. When it comes time to cheer on your Buffs or Eagles at state, the Come On In is your best bet for a great night's stay. Auto Farm Chevrolet in Evanston. General Manager Dennis Lynch invites you to come and experience a community-driven dealership. Evanston Regional Hospital. Quality health care close to home. Bridger Valley Motor. Got a check engine light blinking? Don't guess at what the problem is. Take it to Slim at Bridger Valley Motor in Lyman. And Achieve Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. No excuses, just results. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
Welcome back to pregame coverage here at Cokeville High School, Cokeville, Wyoming, the site of this annual best-of-5 set volleyball tournament that brings 12 teams in it every year. 8 of them go on to the gold bracket on day 2, and both these teams, Evanston and Mountain View, have advanced into the quarterfinal round of the gold bracket. We will see, though. It's a double elimination tournament, exactly how everything plays out. It can get a little wacky. It can get a little bit long, especially for those teams as the gold bracket continues and you can continue to win. Right now it feels pretty good in this gymnasium, but it will start to heat up as outside does. And by the end, it's going to be sweltering in here. The players are going to be playing best-of-5 matches. Usually, whoever is best conditioned and best at playing, frankly, in the heat can a lot of times come away with a Cokeville Invitational victory in the championship round. We are about 6.5 minutes away from the start of this contest. Mountain View just took their hitting lines. Now Evanston at the line. We said we'd give you the starters for both sides, the full rotations. So let's do that right now before we hear from head coach Diana Timms of the Mountain View Buffaloes to close out the pregame show. First for your Mountain View Buffs, Haley Stevens, outside hitter, wears number 2 and is a senior. Allie Rinker, the other outside hitter, wears number 17, a junior. Olivia Meeks and Kylie Dellinger in the middle. Olivia Meeks wears number 6, a sophomore, playing varsity, and Kylie Dellinger with a junior, or is a junior, wears number 10. I was told, don't worry, you'll be able to recognize Olivia Meeks. She has red hair. Well, I thought that meant natural red hair, but no, she's got bright red dyed hair. So yeah, I think I'll be able to recognize Olivia Meeks pretty easily out there. A tall sophomore playing varsity already. Ashley Timms, a freshman, playing right side hitter, wears number 13, and Camry Hutchings, a sophomore, wears number 11, is the setter in this 5-1 formation. I've also been listed by Diana Timms 4 defensive specialists or serving specialists who may see time in this contest. Number 20, Caitlin Timms, a senior. Number 7, Cortland Condos, a senior. Casey Bugas and Emily Bugas, both sophomores. Number 3 for Casey Bugas and number 4 for Emily. On the Evanston side, the outside hitters, Lauren Ellingford and Emily Freeland. Ellingford a senior, Freeland a sophomore. Rachel Voss and Stacia Barker, the 2 middle blockers. Again, just like the outsides. Rachel Voss a senior, Stacia Barker a sophomore. Zosha Novakowski and Taryn Holt, the right side hitters. Novakowski a senior, Taryn Holt a junior. Taryn Wagstaff a senior setter, as is Haley Hayes. Rounding out that 6-2 formation, and the liberos, depending on the contest, will either be Caitlin Matson or Olivia Martin for Evanston, with a couple of serving specialists seeing time as well, junior Taylor Peterson and Cambry Brown. That does it for the starting lineups. Let's take one more break, come back with Diana Timms, and then we'll be all set for Mountain View versus Evanston. Gold bracket battle for Uinta County here on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
It's human nature to think
We hope you're enjoying this
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price. It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
Two minutes before the opening serve, here's Diana Timms for Mountain View. I have Diana Timms with me for week 2 of the volleyball season, Cokeville Invitational time. You know your pool. You're in with a couple of familiar schools in Rich County and Evanston, and it seems like that pool always kind of ends up being the same. So you're probably used to these matchups to begin the season, aren't you?
Yes, it seems like they keep the pools, pretty consistent year to year. So we usually see Evanston and Preston right off the bat.
And you know anything about these teams from year to year that you take, or is it just your team's so new you're trying to figure out yourself?
Our focus right now is working on us, building some good fundamentals in our systems and trying to figure out who's going to play where with a very immature, I guess, inexperienced is a better word, inexperienced team at the varsity level. We got to focus on what we do right now and really develop that.
So it's very common at this point in the season for a coach not to know exactly how the roster is going to look a month down the road. That doesn't necessarily always manifest in the same way, though. Sometimes that means there's going to be a lot of different lineups in the COKEVILLE invite. Sometimes that means you're going to stick with one and then evaluate after. So where are you at here on, as I'm talking to you on Tuesday leading up to the COKEVILLE invite, where are you at with what you think you're going to do with your roster?
I think there's a lot of opportunity to change up our roster multiple times throughout the weekend, mostly because we have girls that are just battling it out for similar positions, and no one's really separating themselves from each other right now and making it evident that they're the best person in that position. Everyone's working super hard, but like I said, with the inexperience, it's a battle to try to figure out who deserves each spot and who's going to be our best option.
I always see with a Mountain View team, I always see really good defense. So I would imagine that's been, of course, an emphasis going into these open weeks, because maybe you can't hit right now, but you can always play good defense. You can always be out there hustling. How has your team responded to that?
Well, I always tell my team defense is an attitude, and they go out and they just work their tail off. They chase down every ball, and it's the same with this team this year. They approach every practice as they're not going to let a ball drop, and they work hard, and I think defense will be one of our strengths.
Well, as we get ready for COKEVILLE, that means this season's going to ramp up and start flying by really quick. In your last couple of days before practice, before it's, okay, we had this game, we have to evaluate that, move on. In the final week, getting up for COKEVILLE, what would you like to install or implement or just have for your team these last few days?
I think the biggest focus right now is to develop several lineups and really stick with them, practice them over the next couple days, get the girls comfortable, have a focus of improvement as we move through the tournament. And it's not necessarily maybe win every single match, but if we're improving and we're getting better and we're competitive, that's our goal for the weekend.
Coach Diana Timms for the Mountain View volleyball program, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mountain View taking the court and set to meet at half court with the Evanston Lady Red Devils. Still in the huddle right now. Haley Stevens and Olivia Meeks, the designated high five, low five girls, to meet their team and then fall around at the end of the line. Mountain View in deep purple jerseys, white numerals, and a very small font, Mountain View, across the back shoulder blades on the jerseys. Have a buffalo white head up on the left side of where the sleeves would be. Mountain View wears jerseys that are just about sand sleeves, and the black shorts for Evanston. White jerseys and single stroke color bright red numerals and Evanston across the shoulder blades, and navy blue shorts. Sitting at the far side of the net in the first set is Evanston. Mountain View on the near side. Here come the teams to greet each other at midcourt, and we are set for first set action. The second time these two teams have met within the past 14 hours. The libero in this contest for Mountain View is number 3, Casey Bugis. And for Evanston, number 9, Caitlin Madsen. The libero for Evanston wearing the bright red jersey. White striping across both elbows. And for Mountain View, a white jersey for Casey Bugis, the libero. First set action here at day 2 of the COKEVILLE invite. Winner moves on to play at 3:30. That time becomes extremely fluid on a championship Saturday day at the COKEVILLE invite, where they attempt to move the games up and around and all over the place. To be honest, we have no idea where the next match, win or lose, could be taking place until sometimes 15 to 20 minutes before it does so. We will do our best to keep you updated. Again, if you have not Go like our page on Facebook at My Local Radio. We posted the bracket for the day. Also, we'll be posting all of our streams as they're getting set to go live and as they do. Up and down officials conversing. Have the rotation set, and the opening serve goes to Haley Stevens of Mountain View. We are set for the play. White nail polish on. Stevens pumps it over the net, and the first attack on Evanston's side goes to Lauren Ellingford. She finds a donut hole on a big slap with the right arm. 5'11" senior outside hitter for Lauren Ellingford gets the first point of the day for Evanston. 1-0 the score, and a quick substitution in. Cortland Condos comes into the back row for Haley Stevens, the outside hitter. First serve for Evanston is Caitlin Matson, the senior. A little jump approach, floats over the net, and it's picked up by the setter, Camry Hutchings. Flip over the net, and it's on to Ellingford, pushes it over with two hands. Down on a sharp little push down to the corner just in front of the 10-foot line. Cortland Condos tried to grab it but could not with the pancake. It's 2-0. Camry Hutchins, just a sophomore, a tall athletic setter. Mountain View's had a fair share of great setters in the past decade. Hutchins, I'm sure, hoping to be the next in that line. An ace serve by Caitlin Matson puts the score at 3-0, and Evanston on top of Mountain View early on the scoreboard. Matson taking her time with the jump serve, straightaway center, floats it over to the back left corner. Rinker with the first touch and the attack. A line shot deflected off the hands of Zosha Novakowski. Shoot to the outside, and Ellingford looking to terminate. Bugas dives down and makes a one-handed punch serve to save it, but the second pop up is not a good one, and there is no third return over the net. 4-0 the score for Mountain View, trailing Evanston in the opening set. This was a 5-setter yesterday. Matson continuing to serve. Here it is, over to the back right corner. Condos with the first touch. Hutchings outside to the tall Rinker, flips it over the block. Picked up by Wagstaff. Bump set from Freeland to the back line to Ellingford. Two-handed push, back right corner. There's Bugas with the first touch up. A second, a dump set by Hutchings. To the middle, good pass. Back set from Wagstaff, and Zosha is not able to send it over the net on the attack. Not quite connecting yet, Zosha. I think saying my bad on that one, on the missed time of the jump. 4-1 the score. Mountain View's first point comes by way of the attacking air. Caitlin Timms checks in as a serving specialist for Mountain View. She is a senior. To the middle, an attack by Stacia Barker. Gets past two Mountain View defenders and beyond the outstretched arms of Timms, the final defender. 5-1, Evanston looking sharp early on. Timms is out, as is Kylie Dellinger. Out of the front line. That brings in Olivia Meeks at middle blocker for Mountain View. The server is Haley Hayes. Yes, it is. Had to look down through the tape, just blocking her face for Evanston. Senior setter in the 6-2 formation. Back middle, and called off does Condos as the serve goes long and out of bounds. 2 points on the board for Mountain View. 5-2 the score. Serve to Emily Bugas. The sophomore flips it over to Caitlin Freeland at the middle. Ellingford pushes to the sharp corner, and again a kill just in front of Timms. Lauren Ellingford serving. All Evanston early, 6-2. Both coaches, Timms and Lawler, barking out instructions. Timms standing pat and letting her team try to play through it at the moment. Olivia Meeks, the lefty, is blocked at the net from about 10 feet out. And the stuff block down makes it 7-2 on the score. Here's a timeout by Diana Timms, and we will take it with them. Back in 30 seconds on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com. 7-2, Evanston leading in the first set.
Serving Wyoming since 1941, Plains Tire is Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer with great locations throughout the state. They'll get you the right tires and offer the best results for your vehicle at the lowest prices, guaranteed. Plus, you can go to any Plains Tire Pro dealer with their nationwide warranty service. And check out their Plains Tire phone app.
Come down and see us at Plains Tires on 157 Bear River Drive for all your automotive needs. Hablamos también español.
In the timeout still, 7-2 the score. Mountain View taking it. And looking down to the corner, Coach Timms has a whole lot of instruction, and I think a lot of that is about defensive placement of where you're standing, whose ball is which, because this Evanston offense is attacking from several different places. The middle, the right side, they've gone heavily to the outside with Ellingford, but Ellingford has also attacked from the middle, and they've gone right and middle. Stacia Barker enters the game for Evanston. Olivia Meeks with the first touch out of the break, and a kill for Meeks, the sophomore. Gets a point in for Mountain View to make it 7-3 on the board. She was attacking from the outside there after getting blocked before the timeout. Makes up for it. Allie Rinker serving for Mountain View. Back middle, Madsen with a good pass up. Hayes sets up to Freeland. She winds up, partially deflected, but stays down. And the pancake by Bugis ruled not up, so it's point Evanston. Olivia Meeks got hands on the ball, but then it rolled off of her left pinky and down into the donut hole. Stacia Barker serving. Line drive, end over end, picked up by Bugis, that being Emily. To the right side, Meeks winds up with the left hand, gets it back middle. A long run for Hayes, and a third bump is over by Taryn Holt. On to Mountain View side, back set, Meeks through the block of Voss. Picked up by Ellingford in the back middle. Emily Freeland rolls it over the shot, and it's picked up by Rinker to the outside. Stevens winds up down on the block off of the body of Rachel Voss, and it's 8-4. Play picking up for both sides right now. Mountain View getting a little bit of confidence on the attack. Rinker serving. Floats it over, back right side. Olivia Martin, the DS in this contest with the first touch. Emily Freeland over the block, picked up by the backline defense of Bugis. Push by Stevens to the middle. Haley Hayes with one touch up, and desperation, three bumps and over for Evanston onto Mountain View side. Here's Hutchings with the setup to the middle. Blocked down by Voss. The attack there was by Dellinger. Bump set to the outside, and Stevens can't pick it up. It was Dellinger bumping it over, but it was too tight on the net, and Evanston leads 9-4. Subs in, Taryn Wagstaff in, Taryn Holt out. Wagstaff serving, 9-4 a lead. 3-3 in the serve receive for Mountain View. Bugis, that being Casey the libero with the first touch up. Deep corner push by Dellinger. She moves back in after the attack to her position of middle blocker. Corner push on Evanston's side onto Mountain View. That was by Holt. Outside, Stevens, back corner, out of bounds, and point to Evanston. It is impossible for me to see that back corner, what the inbounds and out of bounds is. It is a white line that is perfectly blocked by the bottom white tape from my vantage point of sight, so I can't see. I have to go completely off of the calls of the referees and line judges. On to Evanston's side, three bumps and over. It's close to out of bounds, saved though unattempted by Casey Bugis. And it ends up being another point to Evanston. I cannot disagree with Casey Bugis there. It looked like it might be out. It looked like it might fall right on the line. I'm not sure where it was headed. 11-4, the score. And Wagstaff with the first bump, for the first serve over to Bugis with the touch. And between Stevens and Rinker, miscommunication. Neither one goes at the ball from the back line, front line. Free point given up makes it 12-4 for Evanston. Set number one going definitely in favor of the team on the west side of Uinta County. Good hit at the middle. Haley Stevens shoots through a block, and a much-needed point back for Mountain View. Already taking one timeout so far. Coach Diana Timms approaches the scores table to look at the rotation. Ashley Timms started to head towards the substitutions table, but then backs up down onto the bench. And there is a question of rotation before we get a serve in. Rinker set to serve. And the down official and Timms discussing, and it was not Rinker's serve. Camry Hutchings is in control of the ball now, and in fact, all along, Ashley Timms was correct with her instinct to get up and check in. Heads up play by the bench there to check in. Otherwise, that would have been another free point given up by Mountain View. Instead, as long as this is all correct, Camry Hutchings serves over. We're good. And Play resumes. Tied on the net to Zosha Novakowski on the outside. She sends it on the cross. Outside to Mountain View. Stevens, deep corner push. Picked up by Martin. To Emily Freeland on the outside for Evanston. Way out of bounds by about 4 or 5 feet. And a touch ruled on Mountain View gives the point to Evanston. 13-5 the score on the board. Serve to Taylor Peterson. Takes her time approaching from dead center. A little hop serve over. Rinker with the first touch up. Camry Hutchings makes a long run to the center of the court. Set is off a little bit though. Picked up by Timms onto Evanston side. Ellingford with the left hand flips it over. The set was off, but she made it work over 2 blockers. 14-5 the score. A blowout in the making in the first set, but we had a blowout in the first set yesterday, a 25-10 final. That ultimately did not decide the match as each set was in its own, and we went 5 in a 15-12 final. Just out of bounds on the serve over by Peterson. Makes it 14-6. Point back to Mountain View. Haley Stevens. We're back into rotation 1 for Mountain View with Stevens at the serve. Gets the whistle over from the up official and slaps it over. A good line drive serve. Ellingford struggles to keep it in play, and a backcourt attack by Freeland onto Mountain View's side. Right side attacks. Timms is blocked by Ellingford. Ellingford skied up. She had her elbows that appeared above the top of the tape on the net to make it 15-6 with the solo block. Casey Bugas tying her left shoe as Cortland Condos gives her a pat on the head, checking back into the contest. Haley Stevens upset after a 1 serve and out back to the bench. Caitlin Madsen serves for Evanston. Rinker with the back left touch. Back set to Dellinger, blocked back-to-back times now by Lauren Ellingford. 16-6, 10-point differential. You may hear some cheering in the background. That's the right court getting set to play Star Valley and Campbell County. 2 4A opponents over on the right side. Caitlin Madsen to Mountain View. Bucas with the first touch. Outside, and a big swing is out of bounds by by Allie Rinker. And no touch ruled, so back to Evanston. 17-6 the score. Madsen serving. Lofts over. Rinker with the first touch. End the attack. Beats the 2 blockers off the hand. The left hand of Zosha Novakowski. 1 point back, but still a 10-point deficit for Mountain View. Olivia Meeks checks in for the libero Casey Bugas. Also out of the game, Kylie Dellinger, the middle blocker, replaced by the serving specialist and backline player, Caitlin Timms. Right corner, serve over. Stacia Barker takes a quick set, slaps it down, handled by Condos though. Rinker has to back up on the set. Takes some power off the play, and it's on to Evanston. Novakowski, double hand push over to the middle. Hutchings to the right side. Olivia Meeks makes it work. Picked up by Madsen, though. Tied on the net. Wagstaff to Ellingford. Backs up on another bad set. And a diving play keeps it in play for Meeks. It's over onto Evanston's side. Quick set again, this time to Stacia. It's Timms setting up to the right side as Mountain View is blocked on the attack by Lauren Ellingford. Her 3rd solo block in the last 7 points. 18-7 the score. Haley Hayes checks in to serve for Evanston. Taryn Holt in at right side for the Evanston Devils. Currently over Mountain View by 11 points. Hayes to the back left corner, picked up by Rinker. She attacks on the set from Hutchings. Over the block, past the hands of Holt. She powered him. The hands of Holt went flying back on the hit of Rinker, and we're at 18-8. Emily Bugas in to serve. Twin sister of the libero Casey Bugas. Set up from Hayes to the middle. Push by Ellingford just over into the donut hole. Diving Emily Bugas could not get more than a ball up and then onto the knee and off of it of Olivia Meeks. 19-8. Ellingford slaps it end over end, but way out of bounds. 19-9 goes the score. 10-point advantage for Evanston. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Rinker to serve. Picked up by Ellingford on Evanston's side. Haley Hayes a bump set. Push from Ellingford to Bugis. Hutchings on the setup to the middle. Meeks past 2 blockers and down for the point. She got a hold of it. So far, that young sophomore at the middle blocker position has gotten a little bit of power, but been working on it. That time, she absolutely hammered the ball down to make it 19-10. Rinker on the serve over. And Freeland goes wrong side of the antenna on the first opportunity attack. There's a phone ringing somewhere near me. I can feel it at my feet. I know it's not my phone. But if someone's out there listening and on my row, your phone is ringing. Near ace serve for Mountain View. Picked up 3 and over. Now make it an ace. It's not 3 and over. Third bump does not get over the net. And my scoreboard's out, I realize this now. It's been deactivating and activating quite a bit. There we go, 19-12. It's been coming in and out. I usually had someone checking that for me. It's okay. She's here today, so I appreciate that. 19-12 as we go to break. Back in 30 seconds, timeout taken. Mountain View trying to overcome a 7-point lead when we return. First Bank presentation. Lineman of Mountain View Volleyball.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Allie Rinker set to serve as we welcome you back to action. Gold bracket at the Cokeville Invite. Evanston versus Mountain View. Battle for Uinta County. Right side attack from Stacia Barker. A whistle blown, a net touch on Camry Hutchings. Ends the play and puts it at 20-12 on the scoreboard there. Set number 1 underway. Appreciate anyone listening from wherever you are from. I don't care if you're from Perth, Australia. Welcome to the broadcast. Not that I know that we have any Australian viewers, but we could. Serving air by Barker, 20-13. Whether you're Evanston, Mountain View, Perth, Australia, wherever it is, welcome in. Paris, Arkansas. There is a Paris, Arkansas. It's a town of less than 1,000. There's Paris, Idaho, too, I'm told. Serve out of bounds by Bugis. 21-13. No Eiffel Tower in either one of those Parises, though, to my understanding. Not sure about Paris, Texas. Taryn Wagstaff serving for Evanston. Floats it over, back middle. Rinker to Hutchings on the setup to the middle. Stevens, two-hand push. Olivia Martin not in time there. Found it where they ain't. That's what you got to do in this sport. But the play goes to Evanston with it. Was that a net touch? Had a net touch, I think. Must have been. Point goes Evanston's way. Nice little play. Maybe a lift, too. Could have been a lift. Either way, it does not go Evanston's way after a nice little play at the middle by Stevens. Serving air by Wagstaff gives a point back to the Buffs, though. 22-14. Server is Hutchings. Floats it over. Whistle blown in the other court. To the middle, Voss, a little quick set. That's 4 hits. It did not get over the tape. Point back to Mountain View, 22-15. The Buffs hanging around. They need a big run. They got to get 10 points before the other team gets 3, but they're doing their best. Flip over by Hutchings on the serve. To the middle, Wagstaff shoots outside. Novakoski over 2 blocks on a push-up. And Bugis had to play or call off. It's over. Timms bumped it. Onto Evanston's side. Flipped over, and Rachel Voss with the kill past 2 blockers. 23-15 the score, Evanston. Taylor Peterson in for Emily Freeland to serve. Emily Freeland will normally serve throughout the season if she can, but she's got a collarbone issue going on right now that does not allow her to serve overhand. 23-15. Floated over by Peterson. Hutchings to the middle, from the middle to the outside. Bounced off the tape and legal by Tim. She races back to the right side to try to defend the block against Ellingford. Into the net and caught in the net is Hutchings. So a point back to Evanston, and we are at set point number 1, 24-15. Taylor Peterson serving for Evanston. Set point number 1. Back left corner, picked up from Timms. Hutchings to Timms. Punches it to partially block, but stays on Evanston's side and point. Buffs. Set point 2 for Evanston. Haley Stevens back into rotation 1, serving for Mountain View. Knocks over back left corner, picked up from Freeland. Wagstaff to Ellingford to end it. Off the body and hands of Timms, out of bounds, and point. Evanston set. Evanston 25-16 the final after the first set. Back with second set action in 2 minutes time. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio is back for another year with a bit of a twist. Join me, Jake Hibbard, as I transition from covering Evanston and becoming the voice of the Mountain View Buffs and Lyman Eagles. I'll be live every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. with news, analysis, and guests as we focus on the Bridger Valley and beyond. We'll cover the happenings around the area and across the state landscape. We would also like to welcome onto the show as a regular this year, Dennis Lynch of Auto Farm Chevrolet. Join us every Wednesday on KNY on 99.1 FM in the Evanston listening area for the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. If you can't catch it then, don't worry. We'll post all the episodes up to mylocalradio.com, or you can also find it by searching and subscribing to the Wyoming Prep Podcast on iTunes or Google Play. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, presented by Auto Farm Chevrolet, every Wednesday, August through March on KNY 99.1 FM in Evanston, or online anytime at mylocalradio.com, or of course at the Wyoming Prep Podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. The Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio. Come join in on the fun.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
Well, set number 1 certainly did not go the Buffs' way. Evanston working a 25-16 victory. They fell in 5 sets last night to their inter-county rival, Mountain View. So, got a little chip on their shoulder and showing it to see how Mountain View responds coming out of the break. They made a bit of a run at the end. They were down big, 12-4, and then they tried to climb back, but really didn't come until Evanston was nearly at 20 points that they went on a 5-6 point run. Ended up losing eventually by 9. Take a look at the teams as we come out. Olivia Meeks will be replaced by Casey Bugus in the back line. Allie Rinker, Camry Hutchings, Haley Stevens, Kylie Dellinger, and Ashley Timms out on the court. Timms, Dellinger, and Stevens in the serve-receive front line. And then when they go to serve, Stevens will be the opening server. On the Evanston side, front line is Lauren Ellingford for 2 rotations. 1 rotation of Zosha Novakowski, and then looks like 3 rotations of Stacia Barker. Back line, Emily Freeland, Rachel Voss will be replaced by the libero Caitlin Madsen. And Taryn Wagstaff, the back line setter in the 6-2 formation. Caitlin Madsen, opening server for Evanston. On the near side is Evanston in this second set. Mountain View moves over to the far side of the net. Whistle blown, rotations are in. And some late conferencing from the Evanston bench as they need a line judge, I think. Now they got one. I think that was the question of who was going to judge line. Here we go, opening serve for Evanston, over onto Mountain View's side. Bump up from Stevens to the middle. Dellinger pushes it onto the Red Devils' corner. Wagstaff to Ellingford. She had a big first set and starts off the second with a big first opportunity, attack and kill. Ellingford got the first point of the opening set as well. Ended it too, I believe. Yeah, she got blocked, but it went out of bounds. So yeah, she did end the set as well. Shanked return by Rinker on the serve receive, and 2-0 Evanston. Momentum all in Red Devil favor. Madsen serves. Winners of these match will take on either Star Valley or Campbell County. It's a tight contest in the opening set, 16-13 as I look over onto that board. Got started well after this contest. Middle attack by Dellinger is down. So it took 4 points, make it 5 points for Mountain View to get their first point in the opening set. They get their first in the third point scored here. Star Valley, the team with a 17-13 lead in the opening set over Campbell County. Return over the net, and Rinker pumps it down, 2-2. Little tee-off kill for Allie Rinker. Buffs have some good height on the team. Evanston, as usual, probably wins that battle. They're usually the tallest team at this tournament. Lauren Ellingford with the serve receive, return up for the Devils, and the kill off the arms of Ashley Timms. 3-2 the score. Subs in Haley Hayes and Taryn Holt. The old right side setter switcheroo. Hayes to serve, and Holt in at right side along with Barker and Ellingford. In the front row, Freeland and Madsen joining Hayes in the back line. Serve over, back middle. Rinker picks that up. She gets the shoot to the outside, and the attack cross quarter, though, a little bit too far and out of bounds. 4-2. That's the score. Mountain View tied it back up, but then has since given 2 straight points up to Evanston. Hayes with a second serve. Back left corner, push up by Rinker. Bugas tries to keep it alive. Third over by Condos. It's a hot shot, and Caitlin Madsen just keeps it alive. Back line pop from Emily Freeland onto the Buffs corner. It's Rinker on the corner, left side off the hands of Holt, and Rinker tooled the block for the point. 4-3 the score. Olivia Meeks checks into the front row for Mountain View. Caitlin Timms the server. 11:45 a.m. here, gold bracket action at the Cokeville Invite Saturday, day 2. Flip from the middle, Ellingford, and Meeks gets a little touchdown, almost finds the donut hole. Great diving save by Freeland. Ellingford pops it down line, and Condos dives to make a save. Maybe the setter, Hutchings there, could have been a little more aggressive and gone for that one because Condos was maybe a bit out of position. And instead of getting it over and onto the Red Devil side, it's a point for Evanston. 5-3 on the board. Lauren Ellingford with the serve over. Line drive to the back left side, picked up from Rinker. Camry Hutchings bump set, and a bump set over, or a bump over the net by Rinker. Works as a kill. Evanston just had some confusion on the receive. 5-4, differential of 1 point. Evanston on top. Moving into serve for the first time this set, Emily Bugas. Over back middle, Madsen to Hayes, tied on the neck, toes the line, and then into the antenna. The set was way off for Emily Freeland, tied up at 5-5. Older sister of Emily and Casey, Allie Bugas. Yes, not Allie, not the way a lot of people around the state said it of Ailey. It's Allie Bugas. She's playing volleyball at Casper College here at the game today. Right side attack, pushed up Barker, and then saved by Bugas. Bump over by Meeks is out of bounds, and Evanston regains the lead, 6-5. Set 2 action. Caitlin Madsen checks out for Evanston, replaced in the game at middle blocker by Rachel Voss. That pushes Stacia Barker back to serve. Good line drive served by Barker. Flat-footed off the hands of Cortland Condos. 7-5 the score. Barker generated a lot of downward spinning motion without a jump or anything, just slapped it. Second serve is out of bounds, and we're at 7-6. Of course, Stacia from that vantage point, probably almost tall enough to see over the net. Just a sophomore. Bright future ahead for that Lady Red Devil. Allie Rinker, a junior, serves for Mountain View. Haley Hayes bumps to Freeland. Down the line, picked up, on to Meeks. She calls off of it as the set went over, and Stevens tries to bump it to keep it alive, but Mountain View lets the ball fall down on 3 hits, 8-6. Nowakowski and Wagstaff checking in for Evanston. We've had several more substitutions as expected for the Evanston side than we have for Mountain View. Mountain View mostly doing one libero for the middles, switch out, and then you have the serving specialist. Evanston running a 6-2 formation. That just requires more substitutions as a whole. Rinker, a bit of a shank of a return. Backed up to Hutchings, though. Meeks is blocked at the middle by Rachel Voss. And we are at 9-6 on the board. Taryn Wagstaff serving. Pushes over, Bugis on the touch-up. Hutchings, big outside set, a little bit beyond where Haley Stevens wanted it. She jumps back and as a result cannot get on top of the ball. It goes out of bounds, 10-6. Continuing play here, Taryn Wagstaff serves over. She has a little wrist guard on her serving hand. Olivia Meeks chases down a second return and a third bump over by Rinker. On to Evanston side, back set, Wagstaff to Nowakowski, gets it over the block, but a setup here, dump set by by Hutchings, and a shanked return from Wagstaff. It is not over, and Nowakowski nearly got a crazy play to go over the net, but instead it's down on Evanston's side, 10-7. She ran out far to the right of the up official, and it was very tight on the net as it was if you're looking at a plain existence, and nearly just got it past the antenna and then to fall over the net. Ended up falling down on Evanston's side. Nowakowski sends a garbage can to the cemetery. Knocks it out, empties the contents in the process. It's out of bounds, but that wakes everyone in the gym up. Another point for Mountain View, 10-8, within 2. Got some fluid on the court. Told you that was a dead on arrival for that garbage can. We'll take a break while they clean that up. Actually, no, they may not take that long. They got it all picked up. We'll keep it right here. Nowakowski, you could say she did not get on top of that volleyball, but she did get a hold of it. That was a fastball. Chin music. Mountain View point and Casey Bugis to serve. Tighter set, too, going on. Good serve back middle. Great pass from Ellingford to Wagstaff, though, and a power shot down by Emily Freeland. Freeland, a sophomore, is unable to use the full rotation of her shoulder right now because she has this issue where when she lifts her shoulder up to a certain point, her collarbone pops out. So as you saw there, it's a very condensed swing, but she was still able to get good power and go line just well enough. Back-to-back points on an ace. Is that Cambry Brown? Yes, it is. Cambry Brown serving with the ace. 12-8 for Evanston. Brown serves again. Back left side, picked up by Bugis. Stevens the setter, and Rinker backline push over. Wagstaff out of system. Brown bump set to Ellingford. 2 blockers, sharp crossover. Stevens gets the setup, and outside she hits it off the hands of Rachel Voss for the point, Mountain View. 12-9 the score. Emily Freeland checks in after the serving by Cambry Brown. We'll play back row. Ellingford in her first rotation. Amidst her first rotation, I should say, in the front line. Has 3 left. Ball on the court, forces a replay right after the serve. So try it again for Mountain View. Back to serve is Camry Hutchings. Pops it over, very long back corner, picked up Olivia Martin. Bump set from Wagstaff. And a third over by Ellingford, over to the right corner. Hutchings outside, big swing by Stevens, picked up as it was softened up by the partial block. Ellingford, nothing softened up about that blow, down the line and for a point, 13-9. Stacia Barker checks in for Olivia Martin. Rachel Voss out and in to serve the libero for Evanston, Caitlin Madsen. Buffs pretty much standing pat. They got the libero in, and Bugis, and Rinker in the back line gets the first touch up. And it's well off of Hutchings. An ace effectively there, 14-9 the score. Evanston finding an advantage, up by 5. Jump serve over, Madsen back middle. Rinker with the first touch. Hutchings, big hut outside cross corner off the body of Madsen, and a kill for Ashley Timms. Attacking from the outside position, 14-10. Buffs within 4. Haley Stevens serves back into rotation 1 for Mountain View. Ellingford with the first bump up, back set to Novakoski. She pushes it to the middle. Stevens picks it up, set up to Rinker, cross quarter, out of bounds. Emily Freeland pulled back just in time to avoid that one. 15-10. Haley Hayes in haste to sub in. She was down on the ground. She may have a bit of an ankle issue or something, may have rolled it. She was kind of limping. Maybe she was just trying to get out of the way of players, but maybe that's why she was down on the ground waiting to get taped up or something. Rinker picks it up for Mountain View to the middle, and Allie with the attack. It's a good one, down off the body of Taryn Holt, and it's all legal, no lift called. Back to Mountain View side. A setup to Rinker. She has to push it. Wasn't really a good set from Timms there as it was out of system. Timms had to come in desperation. This time it's Hutchings setting to the middle. Flip by Dellinger. Ellingford with the return up and the attack against 2 blockers. Back blocked by Dellinger. Tee off. No, it's a joust at the net, and it's back to Mountain View side. Hutchings to Rinker, and it's coming back my way. A kill for Allie Rinker off the arms of Emily Freeland. 15-11 on the board. Mountain View hanging around. Can't quite get the tie back, but they're within 4. They've traded the last 3 points with Evanston. Timms serving. Sharp down to the back left corner. Push from Ellingford. Dumps it into the hands of Hutchings. Set from Condos is off. A bump by Rinker. Some fans wanted a double hit called there. Saving onto Evanston's side. A desperation return over. Ellingford wanted the attack, but instead it goes over the net, and Ashley Timms knocks it over. Here's Ellingford to attack this time. Beat the block. Off the hand of Timms. She was a little late getting there. Didn't have time to swing forward and try to push it back onto Evanston's side. So it's 16-11 with the Ellingford kill. Ellingford serving. Condos with the first touch up, and Allie Rinker winds up, goes off the block. And it's a kill, Mountain View. Stacia Barker got hands on it, but it stayed on Evanston's side, 16-12. Emily Bugis serving for Mountain View. Pops it over, Madsen with the first touch. Hayes to the middle, a windup and out of bounds on a big swing by Taryn Holt. She didn't have an approach there. She just had to do the old standing vertical jump. May have played into that one not quite getting down. 16-13 the score. Mountain View within 3. Back set from Hayes to Barker. Cross quarter. Pushed up by Casey Bugis. And no one in the area code to try to get a second shot up. 17-13 Evanston. Down by 4. Stacia Barker serving. Out. 17-14. Buffs within 3. Subs for both teams. Haley Stevens checks in for Cortland Condos. Stacia Barker out. Rachel Voss in. And Olivia Martin, I believe, also in. Yes, she is. Outside to Emily Freeland. Line shot. She went right around the arms of Hutchings. 18-14, both of those players sophomores. They'll have matchups here at this Cokeville Invitational, presumably for a couple more years. Taryn Wagstaff serving. For Evanston, up by 4 points. And it's nearly an ace. Emily Bugus, and then Casey Bugus takes a wild bump over. Goes to Ellingford, tipped over the line. Meeks tries to touch it down. Back to Evanston. Martin bump set to Freeland. Pushes it, sharp corner. Stevens with the first touch. To the middle. Meeks gets down on it, but Voss blocks it back. 19-14. Voss has some good blocking hands in this tournament. She was great at it yesterday, and that was from what I was told. I was over in this gym covering Lyman, but she's had some great blocks from the middle position today against Mountain View. Near ace, returned over the net, diving save made by Rinker. A third bump over onto Evanston's side, and Meeks wound up on a tee-off shot, but hit it into the net. 20-14 the score. 6-point advantage opened up for Evanston. Ball is over. Rinker with the bump up and possibly an ace. Yes, it is. Not a great bump there by Rinker. Puts it at 21-14. Wagstaff back to serve. She sends it over, this time to Rinker, right to Hutchings. Stevens on the attack, past two blockers. Ellingford saves it at the middle of the court. Freeland is blocked by Hutchings. Try it again, this time backline. Ellingford sends it out of bounds. 21-14 becomes 21-15. Buffs down by 6 points. A timeout taken by Evanston. And Mountain View will head to the corner as well. 6-point advantage for Evanston over Mountain View. The conclusion of this second set. When we return, this is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
It's human nature to think the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. That's not always true, especially when it comes to buying vehicles. This is Dennis Lynch, General Manager at Auto Farm Chevrolet. Dealerships pay the same price for new vehicles across America. The fact is, the best deals are right here, in your own backyard. The difference is that our employees are your neighbors, people you can trust. Please visit us first, Auto Farm Chevrolet. We are your community-driven dealer.
We hope you're enjoying this MyLocalRadio.com exclusive broadcast of Bridger Valley Sports. We love being able to travel around the state to bring the action on the field or court back to you watching at home. Let's face it, doing all of this would not be possible without all of our great sponsors. We appreciate the support the following businesses and individuals show to both Mountain View and Lyman Sports. Dr. McKay Frankham, quality dental care at affordable prices. Yeager's Auto Body. For nearly 45 years, Yeager's Auto Body in Green River has been at the top of the game in auto repair. Westar Printing in Evanston. No matter what you want printed, Westar is where you want it done. Reese Auto Service. From lawnmowers and snowblowers to cars, trucks, and semis, Reese Auto Service in Lyman does it all. Trona Valley Credit Union, member NCUA. Plains Tire in Evanston, Wyoming's oldest and largest tire dealer. Thank you to all of our Bridger Valley sports sponsors.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Stream your favorite music all day, every day, or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
Super kids deserve super care. Experience the difference with board-certified pediatricians Alan Brown, MD, and Bird Gilmartin, MD, at Uinta Medical Group. Whether it's tracking your child's overall health at Well Child Checks or helping your little ones feel better when they're sick, Dr. Brown and Dr. Gilmartin are here to help your child grow, learn, and thrive. Schedule an appointment with Dr. Brown or Dr. Gilmartin by calling 307-789-WELL 9355 or visit evanstonanytime.com.
1:08 before the start of the third set on the board. 25-17 the final in the second set. One as Haley Stevens could not keep the ball inside the right end of the antenna. It popped over. Evanston picked it up coming out of the break. They called a timeout at 21-16. Allowed just 1 point the rest of the way. Outscored them 4-1 going down the stretch. Mountain View's had moments of runs, but so far today Evanston has had the bigger block, had the bigger attack, and actually has had some pretty good backline defense as well. Young Mountain View team, and just about no experience from the varsity program returning from last year. Haley Stevens I saw play last year, Allie Rinker as well, and I think Kylie Dellinger in some role, maybe at least in one game, had some action. I can't remember if Camry Hutchings in that one Mountain View Evanston game when their normal setter was out and they went to a 6-2. I can't remember if Camry Hutchings got in at all, but she may have seen a little bit of time, but that would have just been in that one contest if that's the case. Down 2-0 to a team they beat yesterday, though. So you got to win one set, and then it's a brand new volleyball game. Opening serve should go to Mountain View. And I believe we have a rotation change. Yes, we do. Changed up the rotation for Mountain View, did head coach Diana Timms. Emily Bugis is serving. Haley Stevens is in to round out the six. Kylie Dellinger will be replaced by Casey Bugis. That puts Rinker as the first one rotation, just this one, and then she's back to serve as the outside, and then Haley Stevens. So they took the rotation wheel and spun it 2 places over to the left, or I guess to the right clockwise, I guess you'd say. And we're underway. First point is scored by Olivia Meeks, working early on at least, 1-0 on a block down against Zosha Novakowski, the sophomore. Olivia Meeks with the point. Serve again for Emily Bugis. Shoot to the outside from Wagstaff. Deep corner push. Picked up by Mountain View. Meeks. Attack down. Freeland dives into the face of Caitlin Matson to save it. Bumped over. Haley Stevens onto Mountain View's side with the first touch up. Rinker winds up and sends it off the body of Boss. 2-0 Mountain View. Scoreboard gave out again. Here, just give me a second. I'll get it going. It's just in a weird spot where if it gets bumped at all, it goes away. Serve out of bounds, and it's 2-1 on the board. Apologies for that muting on the last one. I'm having a little trouble with the mute button as well. Just early season jitters. I don't know. It's not like I had an off season. I was calling Outlaws baseball 3-4 weeks ago, but hey, I don't know what's going on here. I had a couple of mute problems here this time. Maybe get that button checked out. Anyways, it's 2-1 Mountain View with a lead in the third set. To the Evanston side of the court, a quick set from Barker is slapped over with a little three-quarter arm. Try it this time with Olivia Meeks, sophomore on sophomore. Meeks with the kill. 3-1, Olivia Meeks coming alive, has 2 of Mountain View's first 3 points. Younger sister of Taylor Meeks, a redshirt junior at Idaho State. 6'3" middle blocker and a former tear at the varsity level for Mountain View for at least 3 years, if not all 4. Right side attack from Hutchings. Picked up, and Evanston has a back line attack from Freeland go into the net. Mountain View getting hot here in set number 3, down 2-0. 4-1 the score. Allie Rinker serves. Inbounds for an ace. It was pulled off by the backline defense of Evanston, and like I said a few times, I cannot see that line at all, so I have to wait for the call. A little bit of drama by the line judge there as I waited to see what she was ruling. 5-1, and Rinker serves again. Freeland to Wagstaff, outside power shot, and a big seam left open is a kill. Hutchings and Meeks did not close between the right side and the middle there, but puts the score at 5-2. They didn't really have time to. Ellingford got a quick set to the outside, and she terminated very, very hastily. Haley Hayes throws it into the sea of purple, over to the court left side. Stevens runs into the net, and back-to-back points for the Red Devils. They trail 5-3. Haley again with the serve, this time picked up by Bugas. Set up Hutchings to Stevens, try it again off 2 blockers. Stacia Barker with the block. 5-4. Haley did get a good swing on the ball, but big sophomore blocker in the middle of Stacia Barker. If she figures her hands out, which she has in stretches, she is going to be a force at the varsity level as well. Back set to Olivia Meeks. Doesn't get on top of the ball, and it goes out of bounds. Big Mo shifted away from Mountain View. They had a great stretch to start it off. Now tied 5-5, down 2-0. In the set count, that is. Haley Hayes, the server. Back right corner return up. Hutchings to the outside. Stevens has to back up on the set. Ellingford with the first touch up and the attack ensuing. And she's blocked by Cameron Hutchins. Camry Hutchings with the block to give Mountain View back a lead. 6-5 the score. Casey Bugas serving. On the other court, Star Valley at set point in the second, up 1-0 over Campbell County. 24-20 the score. Near ace served by Bugas. Returned over on the second touch though. Hutchings to the middle, flip by Dellinger. Hayes gets 2 hands up, pushes it to Holt. And a corner push from Ellingford. Onto Mountain View side. Stevens with the big attack on the cross court, but it's returned back to Mountain View side. Tried again to Stevens. This time blocked, but tooled off the hands of Taryn Holt, 7-5. 7-5 score. Set number 3, Mountain View with the lead over Evanston. This, the second gold bracket matchup of the day on the left court. Ace serve from Bugas. 8-5. Jump, pop, serve over to Caitlin Matson. Hayes with the setup. To the middle, Ellingford into the net. This time it's Mountain View, the team, getting that block going and then maybe getting a little bit into the head of some Evanston players. And I think Ellingford just mistimed that one by a skosh. 9-5, serve out of bounds, gives it back to the Devils. 9-6 score, Mountain View on top. Serve picked up from Bugis to the middle. Dellinger throws it past the block of Barker. Tip over by Freeland, picked up by Bugis. To the outside, Stevens beats the block, goes down through the back middle. And Ellingford with the return. Freeland hits it off the hands of Hutchings. She gets the setup back to Stevens. Up high and picked up by Caitlin Madsen in the back line. Point back to Mountain View. They get to double digits first, 10-6. Serving for Mountain View, the setter, Camry Hutchings. Sophomore setter. Sends it back right corner. Hayes with the first setup to Emily Freeland is out of bounds. 11-6, Mountain View. Timeout taken by Coach Lawler. We'll take it with them. 11-6, Mountain View down 2-0, but climbing back. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
Light up your world with a custom-built LED sign from Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. It's a proven fact that signage that lights up creates more attention. So light it up and then add text, images, and video, and your sign becomes even more powerful. Start sharing your advertising messages and information with your customers today. The team at Rocky Mountain Sign provides all types of quality signage that is custom-built and maintained. Call today for a free quote. Rocky Mountain Sign, 307-789-5202. Rocky Mountain Sign, serving customers in Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho.
The best place to stay when you're in Casper, Wyoming is the Come On In Hotel and Suites. This beautiful log hotel offers 5 hot tubs, 1 pool, a fitness center, and fabulous indoor atrium. Offering jacuzzi and fireplace suites, the guest rooms are comfortable and relaxing. Plus, every stay includes a delicious extended continental breakfast. Whenever you're in Casper, stay at the best place. Come On In Hotel and Suites. Come on in today. Come On In Hotel and Suites, Casper.
Play resuming here at Cokeville High School. Mountain View with the lead and the serve, but a point right back for Evanston off a first opportunity attack off the hands of, who was that? That was Ashley Timms there who had the blocking error off the attack from Emily Freeland. 11-7 the score coming out of the break. They gave the point to Mountain View, so it says 12-6 at the moment. We'll see if that gets corrected. Nope. It was not touched. Wow, I thought that was for sure off Timms. No touch. Point Mountain View. So it's not an incorrect scoring. I missaw. Maybe it hit the antenna too. Maybe she hit the net, something like that. Stacia Barker in desperation bumps it over onto Mountain View's side. Here we go, an attack from the middle. Dellinger goes long and out. May have actually wanted to go off the hands of Holt there as they were kind of pushed back a little bit. I think had she hit it off the hands of Holt, it probably would have stayed down on the Evanston side. 12-7 score. Serve from Stacia Barker, picked up by Rinker, close to a double hit. Right side attack, Stevens pushes it, but out of bounds on the line attempt. 12-8. Mountain View loses a point there, and the serve goes to Stacia Barker. Here's the pop over by Barker. Left corner, picked up by Tim. She gets a bump set and then has to go back on it to bump it over to Evanston side. Hayes, high set up. Freeland winds up. Diving save made by Bugis. Keeps them alive, maybe gets a little momentum working their way, but no, Holt with the touchdown. Either way, you have to be fired up after that save by Bugis. Her sister, Allie, was a former outstanding libero, a stalwart of that system. And one thing that you always expect to see out of Mountain View volleyball is it's hard to get that volleyball to hit the ground, especially in that back line. They're working on that right now. It's an attack from Holt, back-to-back kills by Taryn, and Evanston right back in this contest in the third set, 12-10. Stacia Barker with the serve. Long and just inbounds, not a great return. Timms to Dellinger, and Stevens pulls off Hutchings late. Nobody gets a third touch. 12-11. Mountain View self-imploding a little bit. Over on the other court, Star Valley holds a 2-0 lead, 4 points into set number 3. Long serve out of bounds and a point back to Mountain View. let the other team make the mistake this time. Haley Stevens serving for the Buffs. Subs for Evanston. Olivia Martin replaces Stacia Barker after the serving. Floating serve picked up by Martin. Pumped out of the net by Hayes, and a return over the net by Martin. On to Mountain View side. Dellinger backs up on a set behind her. Was supposed to be a quick, ended up going too high and away from her. Point Evanston as it sails out of bounds. 13-12 the score. Zosha Novakowski in for Haley Hayes, and that puts the other setter for Evanston, Taryn Wagstaff, back to serve. Holt out as well. She had a good run in those 3 rotations, a couple of kills, a block. End over end serve for Wagstaff. High set from Hutchings to Ranker down the line. Picked up from Ellingford. Bump set from Wagstaff to Freeland. Set up to Hutchings. It's perfect to the middle, but 3 blockers converge, and Emily Freeland gets a hold of it. We are knotted up at 13. It was a great setup to the middle, but Evanston read it from a mile away, and like sharks in the water, all 3 blockers converged in on Kylie Dellinger. It was only a matter of time before one of them got a hold of it on that play. Rinker beats the block this time, but Rachel Voss recovers in time and sends it back over. Mountain View trails 14-13. Timeout taken by Coach Timms. We'll be back with them. 14-13, Mountain View now trailing by 1 point to Evanston. This is a First Bank presentation of Buffs Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
It's important to feel like you belong. At Trona Valley Federal Credit Union, we understand the value of connection. When you become a member, you join our family. You become an owner of a not-for-profit financial organization, and your success becomes our success. We give back to our members by offering lower loan rates, fewer fees, higher yields, and more products and services. Become a member of Trona Valley Federal Credit Union today, and let's work together to reach your financial goals. We're a caring partner here for you. Member NCUA.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Point back to Evanston straight out of the break, and the 2-point advantage. 15-13 opened up by the Lady Red Devils. Serving for Evanston, Taryn Wagstaff on a run at the moment. 3s make it 4 straight points for Evanston. Right side attack, Dellinger's blocked. Picked back up, Mountain View gets a roll shot over from Rinker. Wagstaff to the outside, Freeland pushes it past the block of Timms. Pancake is up. And that one was thanks to the setter, Hutchings. Back set, Novakowski can't get an attack on it. Chance for Mountain View. Condos to Hutchings. Outside Rinker over 2 blockers. Diving save made by Wagstaff, though. A 3rd bump over, and Evanston stays alive. Bugus to Hutchings, this time to the middle. 2 blockers, and she's set back down. Rachel Voss stuffs it away. 16-13 on the board, and make it 5 straight points for Evanston. Ellingford takes the underhand roll of the ball and tosses it to Taryn Wagstaff. Serving far right corner. Over to the back right side of Mountain View. Rinker beats the block, big cross corner shot, and finally a point for Mountain View ends the run, puts it at 16-14. They trail. When the run started, they led 13-11. Rinker found a seam through the block. That's been tough to find. Evanston has closed very well in this contest. Tim serves for Mountain View. Outside Freeland, rolls it over 2 blockers, and in front of the diving Timms and Kondo, 17-14. Not over yet for Mountain View, but time's surely running out. The loser of this contest will play in about 45 minutes from now, following the completion of the JV contest on, I think, this court coming up next. We'll see, though, whether they're on the left or the right side. If they're on the right, it won't matter too much. I can see decently. I may have to adjust my camera just a skosh, but other than that, I should be good to go. Taylor Peterson serving for Evanston with a 3-point lead. Rinker is blocked down by Voss. 18-14 on the board, and Voss with back-to-back blocks. 4-point lead for Evanston. They are 7 away from the win. Mountain View down by 4, down 2 sets to none. And a serve by Peterson just over. Condos has some trouble with the return. Third bump over from Hutchings onto Evanston's side. Setup, Wagstaff to Ellingford. She winds up and goes sailing down. Casey Bugas with the attempt, but to no avail, 19-14. Another attack and kill for this Evanston team. Middle attack, Peterson on the serve over. Rinker goes up down the line, finds a drop shot. 19-15. There you go, a little bit of something there for this Mountain View team. Emily Bugas to serve. Straight away, punch over. Olivia Martin to Wagstaff at the, outside, and not a good setup. Just onto Mountain View's side. Rinker winds up past the block of Voss. This time Rinker was able to get through the hands of Rachel. 19-16. Within 3 points. Emily Bugas serving. Right side attack, Voss is blocked by Rinker. Stays on Evanston's side. Bump over from Ellingford. Bugas to Hutchings from the far right to the back line. A libero attack is a kill. Casey Bugas makes it a 2-point contest with the old libero kill. Casey Bugas sitting at about 5'2". You can't get above a certain point of the net. Sometimes being shorter is an advantage when you're that libero and trying to attack from there. What a great swing, though, from that distance. Ellingford pushes it to the middle, picked up 1, 2, and a third is not over by Mountain View. So a defensive error there puts it at 20-17. Evanston leading. Stacia Barker in for the Evanston program. Olivia Martin subbed out. Rachel Voss out as well, in for the libero serving, Caitlin Madsen. Floats it over. Close to an ace. Bugas keeps it alive. Rinker from the right side attacking off the head of Ellingford after it deflected the hand off the hand of Stacia Barker. 20-18. Gold bracket games quarterfinals, to my best understanding. But then there's the whole double elimination thing, so that may or may not work. We'll see exactly how it all comes together. Olivia Meeks makes it a 1-point contest. Good little punch from the sophomore middle there. Past the block attempt of Ellingford. Rinker serving. 2019, we got a game again. High return, 1, 2, and third just over by Freeland. On to Mountain View. Hutchings to Stevens. Cross quarter, and they're tied. 20-all on the board. Mountain View climbing back, getting 5 of the last 6 points. 6 of the last 7. Rinker to serve again. Out. The run ends and Mountain View is again trailing 21-20. Big subs in for Evanston. Haley Hayes, the setter, serving. Right side, Taryn Holt checking in, and Novakowski and Wagstaff out for the Devils. 3-3 serve receive for Mountain View, and Rinker on the right side gets the first touch up. Hutchings to the outside, and Stevens is blocked by Barker. Rinker dumps it over into the donut hole. Allie Rinker with the kill. That dump set, sometimes players get a little happy with that, but that's the perfect time to use it right there. Catch the defense off guard. If they're expecting it, it's not that effective. But right there, Evanston was expecting anything but that, and Rinker found a big gap in the defense. Evanston playing perimeter defense in the receive there. Near ace by Bugas, and no, make it an ace. Casey Bugis puts Mountain View up 22-21. Jim goes quiet as Bugis comes up with the jump serve over. Picked up by Matson, close on the net. Hayes to Ellingford, a push right into the hands of Emily Bugis. Hutchings, dump set over twice in 3 points. Mountain View has used the dump set to perfection, and they lead at 23-21. I hear whistles blowing twice. That's a timeout by Coach Lawler and the Evanston Lady Red Devils. Back in a minute's time with the conclusion of this third set. Evanston up 2-0, but Mountain View 2 away from a set 3 victory. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
No matter what you need to have printed, Westar Printing is the place you want to have it done. Calendars, letterhead, envelopes, brochures, books, posters, vinyl banners, business forms, announcements, wedding invitations, and business cards are just a few examples. You can also have your favorite family photos printed on canvas or placed into a personalized family photo calendar. You will want to do business with Westar Printing. Stop in today. Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston.
23-21 as we welcome you back to gold bracket action at the Cokeville Invitational. Final day of August here, and it's beautiful weather. Yesterday was fantastic outside. Inside it got a little hot here in this big stone gymnasium. The serve for Casey Bugis is out of bounds, and a point out of the break back to Evanston. 23-22 the score. Evanston down by 1, but hey, they've got that 2-0 advantage looming over Mountain View. It's do or die time in the gold bracket for the Buffs. Double elimination, so they do have at least one more matchup, but they're looking for a championship here in this day 2 of the early fall 2019 season. Emily Freeland toes the antenna line to the middle. Dellinger is blocked. No, partially deflected. And it's point Mountain View. It's a lift called on Taryn Holt. And we are at set point number 1 of the day for the Mountain View Buffs. 24-22, and serving is Camry Hutchings. Sophomore setter for the Buffs. Slaps it over just right of center. Goes to Ellingford. Haley Hayes with a big shot upside. And it's a tough one for Freeland to try to toe. She does get it over. To end it, Stevens goes cross court off the body of Madsen. And we will play at least 4. Mountain View comes from behind late in this third set to force a victory. 25-22. And we are on to set number 4 when we return on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com. Do you like following your Mountain View and Lyman athletics when you can't make it to the game? Well, we love bringing it to you. Hi, I'm Jake Hibbard, voice of the Mountain View Buffaloes and Lyman Eagles, and I've been traveling around the state of Wyoming and covering high school sports for the better part of a decade. Whether it's covering a big culminating event at the Casper Event Center, calling a tightly contested Mountain View Lyman game, the greatest rivalry in this state, or kicking back and enjoying the views at one of the state's many hidden gems like the ballpark in Cowley, Wyoming, there's a few things I always see. There's officials trying their hardest, coaches sweating it out on the sidelines, and there's always a ton of support for these athletes from the entire community. MyLocalRadio.com would like to take a moment to thank all of its sponsors for making today's video coverage possible. Without all of us working together, none of this could happen. If you would like to support our future video broadcasts of Lyman and Mountain View sports, there's a few ways you can let us know. The first is, you can call our home office in Evanston, Wyoming at 307-789-8116 and let them know that you would like to know more about how you can become a sponsor of Bridger Valley Sports. The other is, you can just come up to me before or after a game and ask for more information. We've got a lot of different tiers of sponsorship, and we'll find the perfect one for you. We would love for you to join the MyLocalRadio.com and Bridger Valley Sports family and help us continue to bring these games for years to come. That number again to call for the Evanston office is 307-789-8116. Or just come up and see me at one of the games and let me help you help us. And remember, go Eagles and go Buffs.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. Orthopedic surgery is the practice of medicine centered around bones and joints. It's all about movement and activity and getting that to be less painful. Watching a patient with a specific problem, whether that's pain or decreased range of motion, and being able to treat them, by far the best part of my job.
Set number 4 after a 25-22 victory, capped off by a Haley Stevens kill to end the match. And I think I got that fluctuating microphone again. Not sure if I just picked up the wrong one today or had fluctuating problems with one in the past, but I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I just feel quieter, and maybe it's just all in my head. Anyways, Mountain View was down 18-14 and ended up going on a 11-4 run to close out the set. Volleyball is a game of runs. Mountain View on the far side of the net to start off set number 4. They have the opening serve. Oh, excuse me, no, Evanston has the opening serve this set. Evanston in the white jerseys. Matt Red. Numerals on the backside. Navy blue shorts. And serving is going to be Caitlin Madsen, checking in for Rachel Voss as soon as the rotations are all set. Right now the down official checking them for Mountain View. In the third set, Mountain View they took that old rotation wheel and spun it 2 sides clockwise, and it seemed to work out well. Let's see if they have done the same here. Cortland Condos, and it looks like, no, we don't have all 6 in right now. Here comes Dellinger. She's in the back. Dellinger right there, Bugis. Yeah, I think they have, because Haley Stevens was the rotation 1 server the first 2 sets. And it will be, it looks like it will be, I think, Emily Bugis serving for Ashley Timms when Mountain View gets into their first serve. We'll see on that one. Actually, no, I'm wrong. Rinker is in the front line. No, Rinker's in the back line. Here we go. They were just talking. So the back row for the serve receive is Casey Bugis on the back right side, Cortland Condos in the middle, and Allie Rinker in the back left. Serving is Caitlin Madsen. Olivia Meeks at middle. And she gets the first attack off the hands of Stacia Barker. Set up from Wagstaff to Ellingford. Corner push picked up by Bugis. Out to the outside again, and Rinker hit the antenna. First point of the set goes Evanston's way. Camry Hutchings in at setter for Mountain View. Ashley Timms is out and replaced by, well, oh no. I thought that might have been a mistake. And Emily Bugis thought they had gotten the point, so she's playing front row for this rotation. Whoopsies. Outside to Rinker. Cross quarter, out of bounds. And no, never mind. Was that inbounds or was it a touch? It was a touch ruled there. Is that what? Touch? Touch ruled. So Mountain View does get the point. Emily Bugis in the front row is perfect on conversions. And now she gets to serve. Back left corner, returned over the net. Rinker sends it back down. Zosha tries to get it back over, does so, but it's out of bounds. 2-1 on the board in favor of Mountain View, down 2 sets to 1. Star Valley has taken quick care of Campbell County in 3 sets. The JV of Bear Lake is warming up on that court. Popped off the net, and a flip over from Mountain View side. Camry Hutchings called for a lift. Ties it up at 2 apiece. Haley Hayes serving for Evanston. Taryn Holt in at right side hitter. Barker and Ellingford rounding out the front line. Freeland and Madsen rounding out the back corner for line for Evanston. Serve receive of Condos. Gets a high first return. And somebody was out there sleeping. Rinker never win at it. Had 2 players from farther away going for it. Nobody gets there. 3-2. Evanston's on top. Hayes serving again. 3-3 serve receive for Mountain View. Bugis in the middle of it. Nobody gets there. Condos and Bugis. Neither one touches it. It's 4-2 on the ace. Star Valley's JV there, setting up shop just in front of us. They're done until about 3:30 unless that gets moved up. And again, this tournament always seems to get moved up. Outside attack, Olivia Meeks, sharp corner cross. Picked up by Ellingford. Caitlin Madsen to Freeland in the back line to bump it over. Back to Mountain View's side. It is a shot out to Rinker, and she finds a seam in the block and gets past Emily Freeland defending. 4-3 on the board. Mountain View had a never say die attitude in that third set, down 18-14. That seems like you're just about out of time. But to come back and win 25-22 as they did shows a lot of character in that program. An 11-4 run to close it out. Rinker, end over end serve to Ellingford. Set up from Hayes to Stacia Barker is blocked. She was either blocked or she hit the top of the tape. Either way, 6 of one, half a dozen of another in the official scorebook. It's 4-4. Rinker to serve. Floats it over. Had a lot of dying action. Got Ellingford down, and she comes back up with a attack that ends up going for a point, a lift called against, that was Camry Hutchings. Point Evanston, 5-4. Ellingford serving. To the back middle, Emily with the first touch. Stevens beats the block. Stacia recovers, though, with that superior height. Returns it over the net, but out of bounds. Mountain View point, 5-5 on the board. Or excuse me, Mountain View's up 6-5, 6-4. Huh, I had it the other way. Must have been mistaken. 6-4 Mountain View. Caitlin Madsen with the second touch up. Hayes over for Evanston onto the Buffs. Hutchings to the middle. Dellinger is blocked down, but Mountain View will weather the storm. There's a ball onto the court. Replay called. It's a scary one there as Ellingford was backing up. Hate to see that ball rolling onto the court with a player closing in, especially when it's close to the net. That was not the case there, but sometimes when a player's getting ready to jump up and a ball goes rolling down, you do not want to see a player fall on a volleyball because it's not a soft landing. Timeout conference, and here's the problem. The score got reversed at some point, and so it's about to be corrected. I had Mountain View tied at 5-5. They gave Mountain View a 6-4 lead, and now here it's coming back. The score should now be, 5-5. That's the right score. So I thought I was wrong, but hey, as usual, when it comes to volleyball scores, I keep a pretty tight book. I don't really worry about them in the Cokeville invite because at the end of the day, it's preseason. We're all about getting touches here. State tournament, regional tournament, conference games, I get a little more concerned. Sometimes if I'm up high, I start screaming the correct score, hoping to find the attention of somebody. But at Cokeville, we're here all day either way. We'll get that score sorted up at some point. Bugis with the serve for Mountain View, still tied now. And a big swing from Emily Freeland, younger sister of Caitlin Freeland, is out of bounds, and it's 6-5 Mountain View. Casey Bugis with the serve. Big, powerful one, just out of bounds, though. Ties it back up at 6-all. Stacia Barker serving from the far left side. She's had a couple of aces throughout this tournament. And picked up a middle attack from Stevens onto Evanston's side. Freeland with the roll shot over. Dellinger with the first touch. Hutchings to the back line and a Rinker attack. Outside, it's Freeland. Blocked by Hutchings. Stays on the Devils' corner. Back line push from Ellingford. Hutchings again sets up. One man on coverage, and Haley Stevens finds the back left corner. It sails softly to the ground, and it's 7-6. Serve to Camry Hutchings, brings in Ashley Timms. Hutchings serves over, back middle. Hayes misses on the quick set. Voss tries to recover, but 4 hits against Evanston. I think there was a net touch before that, and my only evidence for that is everyone was on the ground and the net started bouncing. 8-6 the score. Back set, Holt. Good power attack off the hands of Haley Stevens. Point back to the Red Devils, 8-7. Holt attacking from the right side, and she'll take a seat as the rotations flip around. Zosia Novakowski in at right side hitter. Taryn Holt at setter in the back line serving. Serve over by Wagstaff, 8-7 the score. Middle attack, Dellinger rolls it over 2 blockers. Wagstaff to Freeland, blocked by Ashley Timms. 9-7. Mountain View leading. A little bit different than yesterday, but trying to do the same ultimate goal and force 5 sets. Lost the first 2. Looked like they were on their way to lose their third. Came back and won it 25-22. An attack here by Allie Rinker of the Buffs is out of bounds. And 9-8. Holding a skinny point advantage, down 2-1 though. And they have started the JV match of Bear Lake and Preston, I believe. So that's the losers bracket. Make an adjustment there, make a note of that. Bear Lake and Preston lost, so that means Cokeville and Alta are in the other semifinal bracket. To the outside, Rinker shoots it down the line. Pumped in, Ellingford onto Evanston, onto Mountain View side. Bump over by Condos, coming up into the front. Quick set right into the tape by Voss. She wants it higher. That's what she said immediately upon the quick set from Wagstaff. She hit it into the tape, looked at her and said, higher, please. 10-8. Mountain View. So you can come back and win third if you lose one game, but that's the best. So both these teams playing for that right to still be alive for the championship match later tonight. Push corner from Ellingford. Makes it 11, makes it 10-9. Caitlin Madsen with the serve. Seems like it's been a while since we've seen Caitlin out on the court on the serving position. Taking her time here. Making sure all the rotations are set. They are. The whistle is blown and the serve is over. To the Buffs, it's Rinker with the first attack, deflected at the net. Ellingford with the return up and the ensuing attack for the Red Devils. Cross quarter, amazing save by Casey Bugis. Outside attack, Rinker is blocked by Stacia Barker. Point, Red Devils, and we're knotted at 10. Madsen with her second serve. Takes her time, little punch over to the middle. Condos with the first touch. Hutchings to the middle. Meeks, different middle. 11-10. And they gave the wrong point. Someone's got a wrong point, double point. Yeah, it's 11-10. Board is corrected. They should just tune into my feed. I've got it right here, keeping the score the whole time. I don't have to run a board on top of that, though. Hutchings to the outside. Rinker pops it over. Good setup attempt for the Evanston Devils, though, as the block is nowhere to be seen, and Ellingford attacks and terminates. 11 all on the board. Mountain View and Evanston knotted, 22 points in. 6-2 flip around. That was a quick rotation for Nowakowski and Wagstaff. Hayes in at setter and serving, and Taryn Holt in at right side. Hayes on the serve. Back middle, it's Casey Bugas with the first touch up. Hutchings, good setup to Meeks. She winds up and misses on the hit, though. Hits it outside of the antenna. Mountain View with a deficit for the first time in a little while. Down 12-11. Hayes with her second serve. Punches it over. And Bugas pulled off and then had to come back and grab it. A little frustrated there, and it's 13-11. Bugas in the back middle, calling out instructions. Condos with the first touch up. Hutchings back sets to Rinker. There was no block, but she couldn't get it into the net. Or couldn't get it over the net. She got it right into the net, I should say. 14-11. Hayes continues the serve. A 3-point advantage opened up by Evanston. Attack from Olivia Meeks is just a two-handed push. Freeland with the first touch. Bump set, back line to Freeland. Wind up and the kill. Emily Freeland has the Red Devils fired up, and it's 15-11. That's a perfect time to call a timeout there, but letting it ride there. Coach Tim's looking down on the sideline, watching her team. Just thinking for the fact of maybe getting them into the huddle for Evanston, forgetting about that last play as the volleyball is so heavily on momentum. Back set to Rinker, a flip over into the net. 16-11. Hayes to serve. Shoots it over. Bugas, a diving save made. Hutchings to Bugas, 3 and over. Freeland with the first touch up. Hayes outside to Ellingford. Goes down the line. Picked up by Bugas. Outside Rinker. Doesn't have a block on her. Helt finally gets a little hand on it. Stays on Evanston's side. Ellingford with the push to the corner. Condos is there. It's Hutchings outside to Rinker. Tips over 2 blockers. Hayes saves it in the back line defense. Ellingford returns fire down the line. It's to Bugas. To Hutchings on the outside corner. Rinker attacks through the hands of Barker. But Hayes is again there to save it. Ellingford with the line attack is picked up by Emily Bugas. Hutchings dump set. Hayes is ready for it. And it's Freeland. Bump set to Ellingford. 2-hand push down the corner and right past the defense. A perfect read. 17-11 by Ellingford. The dump set works. Timeout finally taken by Mountain View. Have to wonder if it might be a little bit too late to stop this freight train of the Red Devils rolling. Up 17-11 on the board. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Set number 4 here, 17-11, a 6-point roll as the Evanston Red Devils lead Mountain View. We welcome you back to MyLocalRadio.com coverage of the Cokeville Invitational. Star Valley won in 3 sets over Campbell County. They will move on to play either Evanston or Mountain View in the semifinals for a spot in that championship match. Star Valley's look very strong. Have Otessa Olsen hanging out just below us. Congratulations on the win just now. Serve coming up for Evanston's Haley Hayes. Sends it over the net. We have re-entered play. Back set to Allie Rinker, and Ellingford comes from out of nowhere late on the block, but she still gets it back down. 18-11. Evanston is on an 8-point run. Bugis to Hutchings, middle attack. Rinker beats the block. Matson pushes it up, though. Freeland to Ellingford, a little deep corner. Push up. Hutchings backs up, sets it over the head to Rinker and past Haley Hayes, and the 8-point run lead ends. But a 6-point advantage on for Evanston. Serve to Allie Rinker of Mountain View. Returned by Freeland. The attack, Ellingford. She winds up, goes off the hands. It's blocked by Hutchings. Hayes sets up, close to a double hit, nothing called. Back middle, Bugis with the first touch up. Hutchings outside, quick, Haley Stevens. Great save, though, by Emily Freeland. Loring Ellingford goes down the line. Pancake is up, and Bugis to Bugis, and 3 and over, it's Rinker. Matson with the first touch up, quick set. It's messed up by Barker, but she's able to get back up and get a shot over to Stevens. She gets a cross-corner shot. That is out of bounds by a hair. 19-11. 19-12, excuse me. 19-12 the score. Lauren Ellingford serving. And Haley Stevens gets a bad set from Hutchings. It's 20-12. Ellingford to serve. 5 points away from a match winner for the Red Devils. And an ace. Line drive right in front of Bugis. Went Allie Rinker diving. And she got a hold of it, but not too much. 21-12, inverse scores on the board. Ellingford serves to Bugis. Bump up, Hutchings, back set. Olivia Meeks pushes it over 2 blockers. Matson returns it over the net. Hutchings, bump set to Meeks again. Push 2 blockers. Hayes is there. Matson over to the left side. Freeland waits on it, but it hits the antenna. The missed serve makes it 21-13. Serve to Casey Bugis. She's back at the edge of the bleachers, getting as much room as she can for that jump serve. Just over the net. And it's into the hands of Caitlin Matson. Outside, Freeland goes winding up and past Bugis. A touch called. It was out of bounds, though. But that touch gives the point to the Red Devils. Rachel Voss comes in. She's that middle blocker. Stacia Barker serving. Matson will replace Barker, or Olivia Martin will replace Barker. I can't remember which one it is, at the following end of that serving run. And that serving run comes to a quick end as Camry Hutchings gets the kill on the right side. 22-14. It's Olivia Martin in for Barker. Serve to Camry Hutchings, the setter. Ashley Timms in at right side for Mountain View. Hayes sets up. Back line to Ellingford. Push to Dellinger. Good pick up there. Hutchings back sets to Timms. Single coverage to sharp cross. Diving save made by Taryn Holt. Emily Freeland, flat-footed attack. Gets it to Stevens. Set from Hutchings to the middle. Dellinger goes single coverage on the block. Over Voss and into the donut hole. 22-15. Second serve for Hutchings. Good movement on the serve. Ellingford read it well, though. And into the net. That was all set up by the good movement of the serve by Camry Hutchings. Wasn't the best of returns by Ellingford. A bump set into the net by Hayes. And a timeout called. I couldn't tell if that was by Evanston or it was an Evanston timeout. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. 22-16 on the board. Mountain View trying to climb out of the hole, but not much time to work with. This is a First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on mylocalradio.com.
Your mobility affects everything.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
the Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service.
They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
Mountain View feels pretty good about it. They're already out of the timeout break. Evanston following them as we welcome you back to Gold Bracket Competition Day 2 of the Cokeville Invite. Quarterfinal game, set number 4. Evanston leading 2-1 and leading in the fourth set, 22-16. Mountain View climbing back with the serve, though. Outside attack, Freeland goes out of bounds. I did not see a touch, and there was none to be seen. 22-16 becomes 22-17 out of the timeout break. That timeout was taken by Evanston. Trying to slow the roll of Mountain View on a run. Camry Hutchings serving. Floats it over to, it's Freeland with the attack. Cross quarter, out of bounds. Back-to-back points for Mountain View out of the break. They climbed out of an 18-14 hole to finish on an 11-4 run to win last set. This one a little bit less of wiggle room. They don't have 4 points to give up. They don't have 3 points to give up. Haley Hayes sets to the middle. No, it was a fake. Back line. Ellingford picked up by Dellinger. Hutchins outside to Stevens. Cross quarter diving save made by Olivia Martin. Bump over by Ellingford. It's out of bounds. 22-19. The Mountain View faithful come alive. And Hutchings continues to serve Camry. Over. And close to an ace. Great save by Holt, though. Third bump is over. On to Hutchings, the setup to the middle. Dellinger has no block on her. 1, 2, and a third somehow over. A pinball by Evanston is negated as we have a ball onto the court, forcing a replay. Wow. Like a pinball machine on Evanston's side of the court with that somehow getting over the net. Hayes sets up to Freeland. 2 blockers, but a big seam. Back middle. Bugus with the return up. Outside, Stevens beats the block. Sharp cross, but it's into the net. A little too sharp on that cross. 23-19. Zosha Novakowski in. Taryn Wagstaff in. The right side setters respectively. Holt and Hayes out for Evanston. And Wagstaff serving to the Buffs. Casey Bugus is back right corner on the serve receive. They go to the middle. Rinker with the first touch up. Hutchings back sets to Stevens. Has 2 blockers on her. And Voss puts the Devils at match point number 1 with the stuff down. Great read. And whenever you see, especially with a player like Hutchings, not the tallest of girls, you see 2 Evanston Red Devils looming like that on the block with a good close. There's not a whole lot of places Haley can go for that attack. Match point number 1, 24-19. Timms, sharp cross, picked up by Freeland to try to end it. A flip over. And picked up by Hutchings. Not quite done yet. Rinker puts it onto the Red Devil side. 1, 2, and to the outside. It's Freeland. Cross quarter, inbounds. Match is over. Evanston wins it. 25-19. A late run by the Buffs is not enough as the superior block ends up proving large, cutting down that run. Finalized by the Buffaloes. And they will be sent into consolation. They'll be playing shortly against either Preston. No, excuse me. They're playing against, Preston and Buffalo over there. Excuse me, not Buffalo. We got to see who they're playing. Take a look at that. We'll be back in just a bit to give you their opponent next. It's Campbell County on this First Bank presentation of Mountain View Volleyball on MyLocalRadio.com.
With MyLocalRadio.com, you get to stay up to date with Lyman and Mountain View sports by watching all of the games live in the convenience of your own home. Now you get to keep up with your coaches, athletes, and teachers throughout the week with the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner. Weekdays during the school year, the Bridger Valley Coaches Corner will run on KNY 99.1 FM at 3 p.m. and keep you up to date with the most interesting storylines from Lyman and Mountain View in football, volleyball, basketball, swimming, running, golf, and more. We'll also check in with different students and teachers from the 2 schools throughout the year. 3 p.m. Monday through Friday on KNY and 99.1 FM is the Bridger Valley Coaches Show presented by MyLocalRadio.com. Stay connected.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds, plus online streaming music, giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches. Catch up on local and regional news and stream your favorite music. Visit mylocalradio.com. Like us on Facebook and stream it all live.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Back at live action here in Cokeville as Mountain View has fallen to Evanston in 4 sets, 25-19 the final. Great run made by the Buffs at the end, but that 8-point run in the middle points when Evanston trailed 11-10 to take an 18-11 advantage, that was the difference. First set, final score 25-16 in favor of Evanston, and then 25-17 in the second set. Third set seemed to be Evanston's as well, but a great run, an 11-4 closeout by the Buffs gives them a 25-22 set 3 victory, but they fall 25-19 in the final. They will play Campbell County as JV teams are warming up right now. Let's say in the next hour. We're probably headed live about 2 o'clock for game time action for that, maybe even 1:45 for that. So I'll get that stream up right now, put it up on Facebook as well. If you want to follow us on My Local Radio on the Facebook page, that'll help you out for knowing that. We will have the next Buffs game against Campbell County in the next 45 minutes to an hour. Thank you for listening. I'm going to close out this side of the stream right here, but I'm Jake Hibbard, and we'll see you later for consolation action in the gold bracket, Mountain View versus Campbell County. This is a First Bank presentation of Bridger Valley Sports on mylocalradio.com.
The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of mylocalradio.com and Cook Brothers Broadcasting, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Old West Media. Today's executive producer is Val Cook. We appreciate you tuning in to this mylocalradio.com exclusive of Mountain View Buffaloes Athletics. We would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors and partners who make this all possible. And of course, thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more information about future Mountain View broadcasts, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the games. Until next time, go Buffs.